We are going to discuss the high-quality playful environments in an every child-ready pre-kindergarten classroom. Before we begin, envision a comfortable place where you feel free to learn, explore, create, and make mistakes at your own pace. What makes this place comfortable, welcoming, or engaging to you? If you feel comfortable, take a few moments to draw or write about an environment that inspires you to learn. I'll pause here. If you still need more time to think, please pause this and take that time. This is the type of environment that I envision. I see a big desk to do a lot of space, an area to put ideas, and lots of plants and open light. Your area may look completely different from mine, or it might be similar. As adults, we understand that our working environment impacts our productivity, our behavior, and our capacity to learn and create. This is also true for children. So today, we're going to talk about how to set up and sustain a playful, high-quality pre-K learning environment in your classroom. These are the 3 learning objectives we will discuss today. First, we will discuss and apply the 6 tips of a welcoming and predictable pre-K classroom environment. Next, we will review the 8 ECR centers and plan the implementation of centers in our classrooms. Finally, we will examine the high-quality environmental rating framework, a coaching tool that will be used by pre-K teachers and leaders throughout the year. These are the 7 Every Child Ready guiding principles. Today, we will focus on principles of inclusive and playful. We will build a shared understanding of how to create a classroom environment that is inclusive of students' family, culture, and previous experiences. In addition, we will discuss how to set up a classroom environment that fosters learning through playful centers activities that are connected by a common theme. Let's begin with our first objective, fostering a welcoming and predictable environment in the classroom. When we think of classroom environments, we often think of the physical environment alone. While the physical environment alone is important, we should also consider how the environment serves as another teacher in the classroom. Just like teachers, classroom environments can lend themselves to support with instruction, behavior management, and overall productivity. As children spend most of their waking hours in the classroom, it is important that classrooms be attractive and welcoming and function effectively. So let's talk about what pre-K classrooms need to function effectively. In the classroom environment, children deserve to learn, explore, and create in an environment that fosters positive emotions and behaviors. It is also appropriate that the classroom environment should make students feel as if they belong to and it belongs to them. There are 3 fundamental aspects of the classroom environment that foster students' positive emotions and behaviors. The classroom materials, for example, the thematic materials, the student work, the classroom design and layout, and the role of the teacher in facilitating learning in the classroom. Now, we're going to utilize an ECR resource with the 6 tips to support a welcoming and predictable environment through the classroom materials, classroom design, and teacher practice. This document will be available on the course site, so please reference it as we go along. I would also encourage you to save or print this resource and use it throughout the year. We will discuss each one of these tips right now, and then we will use this resource to troubleshoot a classroom environment scenario. So let's discuss the first 3 tips, which highlight classroom materials. Tip 1 is to create a cubby, hook, or a shelf for each child. You can include the child's name, a picture of the child, or a decoration that's unique to the child. but it really gives them a place that they feel like they can really own. Tip number 2 is to create a display that represents children's cultures and families. This will foster students' sense of belonging to a community. For a moment, think. How do tips 1 and 2 foster an inclusive and welcoming environment? Tip number 3 is to label baskets and shelves with pictures and text. This in turn supports students' confidence in their own abilities and skills, as well as encourages increased independence with accessing and putting away materials, all part of keeping and maintaining a welcoming environment. Now, let's talk through the next 3 tips, which highlight classroom layout and design. Tip number 4 is to post and reference a daily schedule and classroom rules featuring text and pictures. By displaying these supports at children's height and referencing them throughout the day, you support a predictable classroom environment for your students. Tip number 5 is to organize learning centers so that children can participate in active or quiet activities without interruptions. By thoughtfully placing centers, you encourage and support positive interactions with peers and adults, and also support purposeful play. Tip number 6 is to create a quiet, cozy, calming space in your classroom where children can go to calm down, relax, or just spend some time alone. As you know from our last module, this space can include soft materials like cushions, pillows, rugs, and stuffed animals that children can lay or sit on. You can also include books to support self-regulation, calming toys like a rain stick or an oil and water bottle, or objects to squeeze or manipulate, like a stress ball. How can these details in a physical classroom environment work as a tool to also support children's positive behaviors and emotions? All right, now we're going to work through a scenario. Make sure to have your tip sheet of 6 ideas available to reference. All right, imagine you and your co-teacher have noticed that children are struggling to put materials away during centers. Children either leave materials scattered on the carpet or they pile them on the shelf. In addition, many children struggle to find materials. Children often ask where the toys are or they request help to take materials off of shelves. This has left you and your co-teacher with less time to facilitate play and lead small groups. Now, let's reflect. How can you use the 6 tips for a welcoming and predictable environment to engage children in playful learning and navigating the classroom independently during centers? As you post on the discussion board, think about these following prompts. Which of the 6 tips in creating a welcoming and predictable environment will be effective in this scenario? What changes to the classroom material and layout should be made? How will you, as a teacher, engage children in playful learning and navigating centers independently?